Hey, what's going on, everybody? Gribnum here. Currently playing the Multiversus open beta, and you can too, because the game is free. So I would suggest that you go on to, I think, Xbox or PlayStation, but also Steam as well. You can download this game for free and try it out with your friends. It's a lot of fun. We got a lot of different characters in this game. Currently, I am maining Velma, and she is my go-to. In fact, once I booted up this game, that was exactly where I went. I went straight for Velma, didn't touch anyone else. I have tried out a couple other players in between, but all of my wins and gameplay come from Velma at this point, this time. So in this video, I want to show you guys some potential with Velma and some best ways to use her, because I do see a lot of videos talking about how you can use her, how if you use her the right way, she's an unstoppable force. And then there's also the tier lists that sort of put Velma near the bottom, mid tier to bottom, and she rightfully could be, okay? Because she is a support character, and realistically, you need to have her on a team with someone else who can dish out some damage, okay? Velma is the kind of character you just got to be annoying with, okay? Hey, almost forgot to mention that I do stream this game on Twitch most days of the week. You can find me streaming this or something else. So if you enjoy this video, if you like this content, you want to see more of me just playing some games, come say hi in chat. And I will leave a link in the description below for you to click on. I'm going to get into Velma's moves and show you my approach. Show you what works for me, as long as you have a good teammate on your team, okay? And then we're going to talk about perks. So you can see I do have some perks on Velma, and I'm going to tell you exactly why I've chosen them, or even some other alternatives you could choose. All right, so here we are looking at Velma's move list. First thing you're probably going to notice is there's a ton of bold, highlighted, yellow words here. You know, you got hastened, targeted, weakened, evidence. There's even educated right here. All these are very important, and when you first start out, you might not know what they do. You might not know what they mean, because it doesn't really go into depth right here on this screen what these words and buffs and debuffs even mean. Now, I'm going to give the developers some credit here. I think they were very smart and ahead of the game, adding in a glossary. All right. So over here on the side, you do have a full glossary of all the definitions and the meanings of these words and these buffs and debuffs, which I think is very smart. You know, not many games do that or put things like that in their game. Not many developers do that. You know what I mean? If you check this out, we can actually see what these words mean on Velma's kit. Okay, you got educated. We saw that one. It's going to decrease the duration of cooldowns. And we got hastened. This one's pretty cool. It's going to increase movement speed for you, and I believe for your ally too. Let's see down here. What's this one? Weakened. Weakened is a very common one that you could put on people and apply. I know Batman has something you can do with weakened as well. And when you do, it's going to increase the knockback damage that you take, or that you can dish out to enemy players. Now, my favorite debuff here is the ice debuff. This is not a Velma combo guide on how to string together 4 to 5 attacks with Velma. This is just my opinion on some of her best moves, some of her best setups, things that you can do that I found that work for me. All right. So, you know, take this guide with a grain of salt on how you should play, but again, this is just what I found works for me, right? So Velma, of course, has her basic neutral attack where she's gonna target the enemy, send out a whole slew of words at her enemy. It's kind of weird. She just sends these bubble text at people. If you're playing with a teammate, it's gonna actually target the teammate and heal them when it hits them. But for the purposes of training here, it's just gonna go straight. Now, if it targets the enemy, as you see, there is the target counter debuff above Shaggy. It will follow him everywhere. Actually, let me turn this on. it should follow him. If he's targeted, they'll turn around, they'll follow him everywhere. Pretty good with the homing ability. If you're not good at aiming, or you're just worried that your teammate is on the other side of the map and you don't know how to get over there quick enough, you can always. But that was a bad example. But let's target Shaggy, and you're trying to help out your teammate. You can't get there in time. You do something like that. Great, helps him out. That's one of her basic moves. I think is really good. That works with her. Another one, staying with the neutral kind of basic attacks here. You got your side neutral. I don't know how to say it right, but basically your side tilt, right? Side tilt. Her down tilt, not really worth using. I don't think it does a whole lot of damage. Like here, Shaggy's got 69 damage. Let me go ahead and do that. I mean, that was actually pretty good. What, almost 20 damage, like what, 17 damage to Shaggy if you charge it up. The chance of you getting the charge every time, not really gonna happen, if you ask me. If anything, you'll accidentally hit this and it'll do something like this. Just the weak version, right? That's more than likely what's gonna happen. So Velma's got the side combo here. This is just tapping it a few times. It's gonna do that. So boom, boom, that. Shaggy gets hit. This is pretty good at just running into a fight, doing something like this. And I also think that the light bulb, pretty good. Hitbox on light bulb, not very good though. A lot of the other characters that have like an up tilt that goes above their head, the hitbox is way bigger. So Velma's kind of got a very small hitbox, and you might miss this a lot when you're trying to hit someone like a Bugs or a Shaggy, and they're moving around a lot. It can get a little tough. Next, let's go ahead and take a look at Velma's special abilities. I'm going to show you each one and tell you basically what I think about them. This first one here, Velma's side special. She's going to wind up a running animation, sprint at her enemy, grab them, and throw them. As you can see, the knockback isn't very great, and to get any utilization out of this, you kind of have to sit there for a while. All in all, I would avoid using this move altogether. If you accidentally do this ability, you can cancel it by doing a dodge, just like this. Now, again, I would say avoid this ability. You don't get much out of it, and you become a target by doing it. Next, we have Velma's down special. She's going to throw a book out. This ability is very good, if you ask me. The cooldown on it, however, is the longest cooldown of any of her abilities. All right, it looks like it's going fast, but this could take up to 30 to 40 seconds. I don't know the exact cooldown on it. She's going to throw this book out, and it's going to give you a buff in cooldowns, if I'm not mistaken, but also I think your teammate gets a buff in all of their cooldowns. So she basically has a built-in perk, like CoffeeZilla. This move is very good. Use this right away as soon as the match starts. Velma's neutral special, she pulls out a megaphone here, and she's going to weaken the enemy and also target them. This move is also very good. If you get a chance and get some distance, you can definitely, or I would suggest you use this to help your teammates. You can actually aim it at your teammate, and they'll absorb it, and then they'll shoot the beam out from them, because as you see here, the distance is not very far. However, if a teammate were standing right about here, they would take the hit, and then the beam would continue to go even further, if that makes any sense. This move is pretty good. And lastly, Velma's up special. She throws out this potion of ice on the ground. This is very good as well. Velma is a ranged kind of zone character. You're going to want to be slippery and get away from people, but if they come running up to you, this ability can be handy. Just like this, it's going to apply stacks of ice and then ultimately freeze them, which you can do some damage to. The ice is very good, and I will go over that perk and that debuff as well. Pretty good. Throwing down a bit of an elixir there, and if they stand in it, they're frozen. more than likely your enemy is not going to stand in that pool of ice, okay? They're not going to stand there. So that's not something you should be trying to get. You should not be trying to get the complete and total freeze. What you should be doing is getting that ice on them. At least 1 to 2 stacks, okay? Check this out. Ice is gonna slow down the enemy. He's not moving. He's moving now. So as you can see him move. Watch him move. Look how slow Rain Dog is moving. Now he speeds up. I'll show you that again. I'll hit him this way. Wait. Hang on. Okay. Now you see how fast he's moving back without the ice on him? So ice is, in my opinion, kind of a sleeper debuff. Okay. So when the timer hits 0 and the match starts, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna hit the book. Okay, you're gonna throw the book out. Boom. It's gonna track your teammate. Okay, it's actually not gonna go straight for the enemy like it did there. If we take a look at what the book does, down special, spread the knowledge. Velma throws a projectile, homes in on her ally, and it gives the ally and herself the educated buff. Everyone's going to be throwing projectiles. They're going to be throwing pies, bombs, things like that, like Tom and Jerry, bugs. You have people like, I guess, Steven Universe, Rain Dog even. Just everyone throws things. Harley Quinn. Now, like I said, first thing you're going to do is you're going to book. Because the book is going to have the longest cooldown. Now, there's a couple of other things you can do right off the bat, depending on what the enemy player is doing, okay? If they're coming straight at you, you got to hope that your teammate, whether it's a Bugs or like a Batman, that they're going to go ahead and take the damage for you. What you're going to want to do, and what I suggest, is get some distance, maybe jump off the edge a little bit. You can turn around with Velma in the air. See how fast that megaphone recharged? You can jump, you'll float, and you hit them with the megaphone, okay? The megaphone's pretty cool. Okay, so like I was saying, you're going to book, try to get some distance, shoot your teammate if anything, because if you shoot your teammate, it's going to bounce off of them, and the beam's going to go right into the enemy as well, okay? Now, after you do that, if you can get those off successfully, you're going to hit the ground, and then you're going to try to spam your neutral attack, okay? Just like this, boom, boom, boom. Unfortunately, it missed. Don't know why it went down like that, but this should do a lot of damage. And if your teammate's taking a ton of hits, it's gonna get the enemy away from them. So it's gonna bounce them back. While the enemy is bouncing back, you have an opening here. Now, come in with a down air and then into some combo potential. So we have the book. We have possible megaphone if you can get it off. If you can't get the megaphone off, you can book into the concoction and you can stand on it, and then you can spam your word bubbles. Okay, great openings for Velma if you are looking to play her. And again, this will help create some distance and keep them off you. Now, if you are looking to join the fight, one of the best ways I think is Velma, you can join the fight. Two ways you can jump in there, okay? You can do an side air. You can do like a left or right air. This is a flashlight. This can charge, and even after you've hit the ground, your character can slide and you can still hit the move out. So, kind of like in Smash, if you're doing a side air, an up air, and let's say you hit the ground, it kind of cancels the move, right? But in this game, your character will complete the animation, which I think is good, but also kind of insane that they let you do that, okay? So you can do a side air, and that's got a lot of range, or you can do a down air. So book, concoction possibly, you're gonna do the megaphone, and you're gonna hit him with the word bubble, and then you're gonna go and down air. Okay, so down air, very good. You're gonna down air, and you can also combo into an up air right away. They come out so fast. So down air to up air. That's a very good way to help your teammate out if they're getting hit by everybody. Because here's the thing, if there's two two enemies here on top of each other, let's say they're right next to each other, you can really come in here and hit both of them. And almost hit both of them with the up. It's so good. All right. And if you're fighting someone like Iron Giant, so with Iron Giant, you could juggle this guy with your down smashes. Where's it? See that? 4 down smashes on him. Let's say he's not a very good player. You can do 2. Let's see. You can do 2, and then you can even do an up air on Iron Giant. Pretty sick combo potential. I know it's just really just 1 to 2 moves, and they're kind of broken. But you also got the flashlight, and also your side neutral on the ground is pretty good too. A bit of range to it. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up this video talking about Velma's perks real quick. She has 2 signature perks here. Most characters have 2 or 3 that I've seen. Studied, you get 1 piece of evidence at the beginning of the match. Once you collect 5, you can call the cops, and the police car shows up and takes the player away, whichever player it captures. It's kind of weird. This one is, I guess, decent, but I would suggest you use the Knowledge is Power. It's going to actually give your teammate some health, I guess a bit of a shield, an overshield, or something like that. You're going to want to go ahead and grab Knowledge is Power to start with. And now we have a selection of defense, utility, and offensive perks here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you the best perk with a character like Velma, something you should be selecting with just about any person who has projectiles. On the tier lists for the perks you can find online, it's going to show you that things like double jump, triple jump, Coffeezilla, even this flammable one are pretty much A tier, S tier abilities. But I think they're forgetting about this ice one right here. Now, I showed you a lot about what the ice can do and how it can slow down your enemies, especially if they're just on you constantly. Go ahead and slap this on, and now you've got an ice debuff on basically any character in the game, so long as you use a projectile to knock back the enemy. Okay, so go ahead and throw this one on. You don't even have to stack it, because as long as you have 1 stack on the enemy, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, whatever, all the way up to 14 without putting him under an ice, you're good. Now, with Velma, you do have some horizontal attacks. I would say this is good as well. Percussive punch power. She does that side neutral that she does is pretty good. You can go ahead and throw this one on. And snowball effect is good. Wildcat brawler. And maybe even the up and a sleigh, because she does the down air to the up air that I showed you as well. So those are going to knock them upwards. This one's also pretty cool too. I picked this one most of the time when I'm using her. So you're going to debuff the enemy anyway. So you might as well put this one on. As you see, you do more damage to debuffed enemies. But if you don't feel like putting on all these offensive perks, again, just keep the ice one and then go ahead and choose something like, maybe Kryptonian skin is good. Slippery customer, that's pretty high on the ranking as well. But you have some utility perks, which a lot of Velma players are going to be choosing as well. Coffeezilla, pretty good. It's going to reduce your cooldowns. And let's see if there's anything else. Tasmanian trigonometry. This is pretty cool because when you get that combo with your word bubbles, and it starts knocking them upwards, this will give you a little more knockback on that. So this could be handy as well. I mean, this setup right here, I think this is something I was using earlier as well. Pretty cool, all in all. And again, let me go ahead and show you the ice perk without the ice perk, and then with it on. So let me go ahead and take this off real quick. Let's go ahead and show this. So Shaggy, I'm gonna go ahead and Hit Shaggy. He's running up. I don't have any. I don't have the ice perk on, so let me go ahead and shoot him with the word bubbles. No ice perk stacking on him, so that's really not going to help me out, especially if he's very aggressive and he's just coming at me. Now, if we go ahead and put the Ice to Beat You perk back on. All right, so now we have the Ice to Beat You perk on, and what I'm going to do is do my best to knock Shaggy back and watch him run up very slowly. Kind of hard to tell, but his movement speed is slowed quite a bit there. So I hope this guide and this video helped you guys out. Figure out if you want to actually use Velma. If it did, awesome. Please go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and check me out on Twitch. I'm streaming most days of the week. All right, see you in the next one.